And I'm recording.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Brad Morse, Program Director for Campus Project for DLI. I think we're going to get started here. We only have a half hour, and I want to make sure we get through this presentation and give you an opportunity to ask questions and interact with the department on this. For those of you that normally would be hearing Angie Andreessen, she has moved on from the department. She's taken another opportunity outside the state, which is it's a great opportunity for her, so we're happy for her. So from now on, you're kind of stuck with me. And normally you have Mike Hill also on the call, but he's on vacation. So we have some folks that are going to assist if there's any real specific questions regarding QRCs and some of the obligations to file and when to do things. But just know that I don't have all that expertise, but we do want this to be informative to you. So we'll get started with this answer hour. Just a few housekeeping items. If everybody has questions, please put them in the chat and we'll monitor those questions and somebody will read them to me and we can answer those. Also, this meeting is recorded, so if anybody wants to refer back to it, we do put these on the website later on. So today it's a little bit different agenda, but we're gonna talk about the survey updates that we sent out to the group about improvements for development that this group contributed to and gave us feedback on. Talk about the release updates we just had last night, any known issues, and then we'll have a Q&A in there. So as far as the survey results, the first thing we had is we had a bunch of feedback that all kind of fell into the same, and we heard it a lot. So we had people do rankings of, feedback. What is your top priority of this feedback? So it lets the department kind of focus exactly how we're going to, allocate our resources to do development. And the first thing that was number one on multiple groups list was the adding a WID number lookup tool. We heard it from you a number of times in answer hours and in the future, and so we want to make sure that that got prioritized as number one. We have the question of the ability to save a draft of an RCR and an R2 at the same time. This one, me and my team are currently looking into how this would be feasible. Because of the way the system works, those drafts don't actually go into the same database where you would pull your R2 information from. So the RCR needs to be in there before an R2 can go in. And that's something we're looking at for feasibility, and that's something I'll get back with you on. Extending the campus timeouts to prevent users being logged out while working on a submission. We know that gets frustrating that you're working on your filings and then the system times you out because we do have a timeout in there, the security requirement of 15 minutes. It's something that the department is reviewing with our security team, and we will get back with you on that. And then add a filter so closed cases do not display in the My Rehab cases. So either having a closed case tab or rehab tab just to filter those out is all feedback we got. Additionally, we got feedback that was in the written form about allowing administrators and admin staff to see drafts of forms. This is one we are looking at for feasibility, again, to see if that's possible. The behavior of the system was never intended and designed to do that. And so we're trying to figure out if because this does touch permissions and everything of what this would take to do and feasibility again. Um, a big one that we've heard from folks is, allowing QRCs to file forms and move forward with filings when the insurer hasn't filed a FROI. That's we've been hearing it that you want to be able to continue filings, and you're working your best to get those insurers to file those, and the department has some new a group that's dedicated to help, to get, when you tell the help desk, there's people that are reaching out to those insurance carriers, but we want to, see if there's anything we can do from a technology standpoint to not impede your ability to keep filing. It's something that we're continuing to explore. Yeah, if somebody is not muted, please mute yourself. If thank you. The next one here is the ability to use the backward arrow button to avoid having to reopen the case every time, and the ability to autosave our forms when continuing to work on it at Labor Day. I mean, you can always save as a draft. So let me address the first statement there about the backward arrow. So because this is a web application and the way web apps are caching, they don't, that functionality is not something that really works on a web app very well. So that's why that doesn't work. That's why you have to hit the home button and go back in. So there's some user experience things we're considering, but just the backward arrow just doesn't work on this type of a web app. So it's something that we know we can't do, but maybe we can work with you to see if there's a better user experience that we can, some different behaviors we can pull in there and make it easier for you. The R forms, saving them as drafts. That's something that there is an ability to do that. So we just want to make sure that people do know you can save things as drafts. And then address problems when uploading documents. We've put multiple releases through to address that issue of uploading documents. If folks are still seeing that, please contact our help desk, and we will be sit down with you and work with you and figure out what's going on with those. We found sometimes it is a firewall issue, which is something our technicians, they talk to your technicians about, and sometimes it's actually just a timeout is occurring. So we want to ensure that which one it is. There was feedback that list sort of cases need to be by employee last name. That came up a lot, so something we're going to look into. And then of course they expand the My Rehab cases to default to more than 10 cases. Right now it is a current 10 case default, and most people want it to that 50 to stay at 50. We're going to look into that. I mean, it's something that definitely has been considered. It just, sometimes the performance of the system does get slowing down when you keep constantly pulling those large queries. And we already are experiencing some, performance related tickets to try and improve our speed. But we definitely want to take all this feedback, and what we're going to do is we're working with my team and the development team on prioritizing some of this feedback of when we can, do it, so we can, announce to you when some of these items will be addressed and give you kind of a timeline. If, like I said, some of them can't be addressed, we will work with you and explain to you, why, something can't be addressed. The updates that went last night, number one, we saw your number one feedback item, and the team worked feverishly in a 3-day span to develop the WID Lookup tool for you. So the WID Lookup tool has been released, and in a minute, I will give you a short demo from one of the BAs that worked on it. But we do have the WID Lookup tool now for rehab providers, so that is in the system as of today. You're going to be the first ones to see it. There were some things with returning plan submissions. There was an error when you were doing your returning plan submission. That has been fixed. All parties were not pulling into the R form distribution area. We've worked on that, and that has been addressed. And then corrections for firms showing on R forms. And we saw this with folks that had changed firms, that it was holding your old firm information in there. We did a number of updates on that. And so if that is still occurring, please contact us. We're now down to, if it is happening, we need to manually go in there and do some corrections. But please reach out to us if that's happening. Is Ryan Bush on the phone?
I am on the phone.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to stop sharing. Can you want to do the demo for the folks on that lookup tool?
Yep, can do.
All right, I have stopped sharing, and Ryan, you just grab it.
Sounds good. All right, for the folks on the phone, this should be a pretty quick and easy, simple demo. So what you'll see here is your homepage as a rehab provider. And in the submit a filing dropdown, you'll see this new option for WID Lookup. So once we click that, you will have a series of instructional text up here, just some additional clarity on looking for the WID. And there's only three fields involved. Your injured worker's last name, your injured worker's date of birth, and the injured worker's SSN. So pretty self-explanatory. We will fill in these fields. And so this is just one of our test employees we have in the database. If we click submit, this will process for a few minutes, and I apologize, I have quite a bit running in the background here. Interesting. I could try a different employee. So that is what you will get, though, if we do not have a record in our system matching the information. This will return the error message. Okay, I apologize. Let me grab a different employee here.
Yes, and I apologize to the group. Ryan didn't know he was doing this demo until 3 minutes before the meeting, but I thought it was important to show you how to navigate to it because it is in that new drop down. And I can verify it does work because I tested it last night before we released it. So this I assure you does work if you have somebody. So if anybody's been looking for WIDs and you have to contact the department, this is the new tool that will, if you have this information, you'll be able to look up the WID.
Correct. Any questions while we have this up? Apologies that I grabbed a bad employee.
Can somebody monitor the chat for me? I'm just in a few places. Is there any questions out there? Mike, Hare?
There are a few questions already, yes.
Oh, can you just, while we're running through this, can you just read one of those for me?
Sure. What are the new rules for the insurer to file the FNOL forms? For early referrals, QRCs are not able to process anything beyond the RCR. You should not have to ensure the insurer is filing the FNOL by EDI. So
what is an FNOL?
I don't know.
Okay. So on this,
similar to a first report, I would think.
Okay, sounds like a first notice of loss or something. But yes, that's something I addressed in the feedback that we've heard about, and the reason why is because the structure of the system is designed that you want to keep your case data associated to that claim as much as possible. We're looking right now with the group to see what we can do to fix that. But in the eyes of the department when it was designed, so we never thought that there would be a rehab case where there was no lost time being reported, and that's something that we clearly underestimated the number of those. that's happening where you do have a rehab case and lost time is there, and we're not having those. So we're looking into that there. Will the window to open a PPR questions on the R3 be extended beyond the current 15 days before and after 6 dates to the R2 filing? Terry, I think this is something Mike Hill knows about, and I think he's talked to me about it, but I don't understand exactly what that is. I think that's, yeah, there's a time in there that's limiting you to when you can do this. And yeah, he has requested some changes on that. All right, Ryan, and then, so let me go back to the demo real quick, Ryan.
Yep. So you'll see here using a better employee, inputting last name, date of birth, last 4 SSN. You'll see we have our testing employee here along with their WID number.
Okay. So thanks, Ryan. And thank you for jumping on to do that quick demo for me.
No problem.
And Brad, there's still one left. It's an observation that they're same thing. The link claims from the first report in campus are not appearing, and it's causing delays in filing the R2 and subsequent R form. So it's a known problem, and I do know that Mike Hill and other staff are working hard to get these claims filed in campus. The other thing is some claims are there and they were not found on the initial advanced search. So if you are still having some linked claims and you haven't put those into the help desk yet, go ahead and do that. We are able to find some claims now in campus, but they're not automatic linking. And the help desk can help link those claims to your rehab transactions now.
Thanks, Mike. Known issues, and I've got it right here at the top. Filing an R2 when no claim is in the system. I think we just heard a bunch about that, and that's why we have the feedback on it. And that's why the team is exploring options to figure out how to alleviate that. Intermittent document upload failures. I have this on here because we've done a number of fixes, but I have not heard if people are still having issues with this. So if anybody's still having issues with uploading a document into campus, especially today, please let me know. We can definitely look into that. And then there was the issue of the incorrect firms. So we corrected that, but I still have it on here because I want to know if anybody still has that coming up. We want to make sure that that is corrected. So we've done a number of activities to mitigate those 2 items, but if it's still occurring, please reach out to the help desk, get a ticket in, get the examples of where the firm is not showing correctly for a QRC, and we will get those corrected for you. We have a lot of stuff up on the Campus Central page that I think everybody knows about. You see these meetings go on there. We post recordings on there, and we have FAQs and everything of that nature. So please visit that page. We do try to update it frequently and have good information on there, especially about like the release notes. If somebody's not on here, they want to know what happened in the last release. The WID Lookup, we'll have a little more elegant information about the WID Lookup going up next week. Where it was released today, I wanted to have that demo done for you real quick. So that is where I'm at. So where are we at on questions?
Brad, we have another question related back again to the linking claims in campus. Question from Arlo: if we create a shell file for the RCR, will it eventually automatically link to the claim once it is filed, or do we have to recreate the RCR?
No, from your end, you shouldn't be recreating anything. Once it's filed in the system, that record is the record that we have of some folks that actually take that, and they're the ones that link it to the claim and do all that work.
And Fred, if I can add from the help desk, if you get notification from the insurer that that first report has been filed, and they would let you know by giving you your jurisdictional claim number, or the starts with the CL with the identifier after that. The help desk can, if you give the help desk that information, they can link your rehab transaction, your RT, to that CL. That can be done at that point if it doesn't automatically link.
Do we have any other questions?
Another one has come in from Julie. If we create a shell file, is it possible to have the EE's name showing instead of just the RT number?
In
And I do know that that was a question that had been asked before, and I don't know if that was an updated on the release. The you type in the injured worker's name and it doesn't pull that information just as the RT. I know that's been looked at, so I don't have an answer whether it's been fixed or not. But that was a question. That was an issue that was asked to see if that could happen.
Yeah, there's some technical complexities to it, and it goes around the way that we create entities in the system. It's something that the team is actually looking at in a holistic manner of how to take this information and create entities. Because what we're trying to prevent is what was happening before, is the same person had multiple entries in the system and they had multiple things attached to them. But when they would call, somebody may only look at the one, somebody may look at the other one. And that happens a lot with employees, but it really happens a lot with employers and insurance carriers, because, insurance carriers should just be a certain entity, you shouldn't have 45 of the same insurance carrier with different things linked to them. So from an entity management, that's why it's doing that. We are looking at an approach right now of what to do, especially for the QRCs that are still having to do filings when maybe the insurer has not filed that FROI. And so again, that's something we are currently looking into, and we'll have a plan and some communications out in the next few weeks to talk about it.
Anthony has asked, I still have a problem getting the WID for a person who has two last names. What do I do? I called the help desk and they could not help me. I tried different versions of the last name.
The help desk couldn't locate the WID for you?
Yes, that appears to be the problem.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I contact the help desk again and have them create a ticket, because you should be able to locate a WID.
Unless they're not in the system yet.
Yeah. If they're not in the system, then they have the ability to create one.
Right, and
So
I think that would be if you can't find it and help desk can't find it, it's possible that the insurer hasn't created a claim and you can't find a WID because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's a good call out, Mike.
Perhaps.
Yeah, and the hyphenated names or people with two last names sometimes does confuse the system depending on the way the insurer reports it. Because sometimes they put a different last name. They put the last name as one of the last names is middle, and sometimes they do put full hyphenated name in there. And we allow for all of that, and so those can be a little challenging, and that's why I do encourage you to contact the help desk, and then I'll reach out to Mike, who's in charge of the help desk, and figure out what we can do when those come in, just to make sure that they have everything they need to help out with that, and make sure the campus is supporting them as well.
Lisa asks, is there a way to add a place for fax number as a delivery method instead of just mailing addresses on affidavits?
It's a feedback we can take down.
And Sue asks, is there an issue sending encrypted email to the Dolly help desk? We were told not able to open.
That's something we can look into. I don't know if that's an issue. I know that there are times with certain people's encrypted emails that I'm not able to download the thing to get access to them, and I don't know if help desk is running into that same scenario, but that's something we can look into and communicate on.
Anna says we are still having issues with saved draft R forms disappearing when we go back in to access it and want to submit it. We know we've saved it, downloaded the PDF, but when we go back into Campus in a few weeks to submit it, then it's gone. Just sharing so you are aware this is an ongoing issue.
And is it something where you're going in after 21 days of the initial save? And maybe
That's a good call up, Brad, 21 days. And so I'm not sure that, and so Anna says she doesn't think it's 21 days, but that's good to know for everybody that it saves for 21 days.
Yeah, and that's also something that we've gotten feedback on is to try to extend that time limit. And we are looking into that, just making sure that, it doesn't seem like a hard thing to do, but we want to make sure just any technical implications to that. And we are looking, just so everybody knows, looking to extend it to 45 days to allow for circulation of signatures, so you don't have to go back in and save it, just beforehand. So that is something we are looking at right now as to how fast we could do something like that. So those are things that I think are high value that we can definitely help out with. Some of these more complex things, they take a little longer. So we will be, like I said, in the next few weeks communicating what we will be doing for new development in March. And we are prioritizing based on that list you saw earlier and some of your feedback here, that trying to get some of those items in there just so that we're constantly every month delivering new features with high value to you. Is there any other questions?
No.
All right. And with that, we will be, scheduling answer hours, every 2 weeks. Mike Hill will be leading them with my assistance, of course. And, we will continue to do development fixes every 2 weeks, but also every month we're going to have a feature release where we're going to get new functionality into the system. And, we're going to communicate that, monthly of what we're going to be able to do that month. So you should be seeing some of these items being addressed. And if we're not able to address it, we will communicate that, and we'll talk with you about some other options, because, there are times where some of this stuff is very technical and rebuilding large pieces of the application that maybe it just is too time consuming, or maybe we just don't have the ability to do it right now. But we want to talk to you about other options. So I appreciate this group and all your willingness to help us out. Again, I hope you guys know that it is getting better. I mean, you're seeing that, everything that you've told us and we've been able to react to for the most part, and trying to get this system better for you. So we will continue to do that. So just be on the lookout for that information. If you have any other questions, please reach out to the help desk. As Angie is no longer with us, like I said at the beginning, so if you're emailing her, you're probably seeing kickbacks. So please just contact the help desk. They are getting those items escalated to tier 2, and we're having a quicker turnaround on those. So if anybody, please just keep filtering those to the help desk. If anybody has anything else, you feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be glad to assist you. So with that, I think we can wrap up this answer hour. Thank you.